Hey Internet, you know what sucks? Side effects. Side effects suck. I've been experiencing a lot of them from chemotherapy, and while I don't talk about them very much, mostly that's due to the fact that I don't like to complain, but also because they're kind of embarrassing. However, in keeping with the whole theme of this vlog, which is to record my experience for posterity, I'm going to talk about them here. Warning, I'm going to talk about my poop. Not a lot, but it's going to be in there, and if you're squeamish about that sort of thing, maybe skip this video. But I'm going to go through them in no particular order here, and the first one I want to talk about is the fact that chemotherapy, it makes you feel sick, which is obvious. I mean, anybody can tell you that, but the way that it makes you feel sick is different. This isn't flu sick. This isn't cold sick. This is every cell of my body hates me sick. It's not like so bad I want to die, but it really, God, it really sucks. And it does eventually wear off. And some weeks I bounce back faster than others, but a lot of times it's just days and days of feeling really lousy, like really bad. My tongue gets prickly and gross, and everything I put in my mouth tastes like paper. Which of course doesn't help when chemotherapy also kills your appetite. So not only do I not want to eat anything, but making myself eat something is awful because it just tastes awful. And I'm just so bored with the food that I do eat. It's just so samey. I'm repeating my menu a lot because there's a limit to what I can eat because my cancer is in my colon and they don't want me to aggravate that. So I've been avoiding a lot of the foods that I would normally eat, foods that I think taste good but would be bad for me, spicy food in particular. I do occasionally break down and go out and get something spicy. I pay for it later. But I will say, it's not necessarily the spicy food that does it, because it can happen anyway, just because. So, yeah, so I will experience diarrhea. And this is really bad kind of diarrhea. Like, it hurts. And not in a sharp, painful way, not like the abdominal pains that sent me to the hospital last Sunday. No, this is painful in a way that it's like your guts are trying to turn themselves inside out. Imagine the feeling of throwing up, but in the opposite direction. So yeah. Sometimes it'll hit me at work, and that's the worst because people know why I'm in there. And it's really embarrassing. And it smells. God, talking about this is really embarrassing too. But I'm going to make myself do it because I feel obligated. But moving on from that embarrassing subject, another thing that I have to deal with is my tolerance for the cold disappears. I get really bad pins and needles feelings in the tips of my fingers, and they just shoot up like pins and needles. I mean, really painful pins and needles, and it's aggravated if I touch something cold, especially something out of the freezer. It's like an electric shock. I feel like I've talked about this a bit before, but I want to re-emphasize how awful that is. I can't touch cold things. Even something that is just slightly colder than room temperature. When I wash my hands, I turn the water on and I have to wait for it to get warm because I can't wash my hands in cold water. When I take a drink, it has to be room temperature because it feels like liquid nitrogen going down if it's cold. So I haven't had a cold drink in months. I can't. I wish I could. And occasionally I have tried simply for just the enjoyable sensation of having something cold in a mouth that just ugh, feels like a ugh, room temperature swamp. Um, and it's bad. It hurts. Um, and it especially sucks because summer's coming and it's going to be hot, and I'm not going to be able to drink anything cold. So room temperature water is pretty much the vast majority of what I've been drinking, because I'm not going to drink milk room temperature, and I'm not supposed to have soda. I've had room temperature juice like apple juice or cranberry juice, but that's also not very enjoyable. So yeah, mostly just water. I did buy this stuff that you can squirt into water to give it flavor, but it really doesn't taste good. I've tried a few flavored waters too, and I don't know, they taste synthetic, artificial. I just don't like it. What else? Nosebleeds. I've been getting a lot of nosebleeds lately. I suspect it's because the change of the season. Um, the air's drying out a bit, and that affects me. It always has, really, but I suspect chemotherapy is making it aggravated. So I get nosebleeds pretty easy. And headaches, I get headaches. I feel exhausted very easily. I found this out last week at work when I was just doing my thing, and then I sat down and it was like, oh my god, just like so tired. Um, my eyes. It's weird. My eyes feel fragile. Um, and I've noticed, like, if I squeeze my eyes shut really tight and then open them, um, usually it'll do that kind of swirly thing and then clear and you can see. It'll do that, but it will take a long time, like several seconds, to get my vision back. Um, and putting my contacts in or taking them out, it's not painful, but it is uncomfortable. Um, what else? I think that's kind of it. I'm trying to think if there's any other side effects that I've been dealing with. Each one of these is pretty bad, but if it was just one at a time, I could completely deal with it. But sometimes they all happen all at once, and it's bad. It is just, it's awful. And knowing that I've got another 4 months of this is pretty rough. So yeah, so there's that. Um, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, was my side effects. Wow, almost 9 minutes that I've talked about it. Um, I Sorry, I do try to keep these videos short because I know that not everybody's interested in hearing me ramble about this stuff, but like I said, I do want to make sure that it's recorded for me, just because. Anyway, um, I'm feeling pretty okay now. Next week is another chemo week, so of course that'll change. One day at a time, One day at a time. Alright, that's it for now. I'll update again soon.